Today, I thought I might help you understand the concept of convergent evolution by talking about one of the best examples, quilled mammals. They are found pretty much all over the world. However, they rarely do not have any common quilled ancestor. Today, I'll be talking about 4 different animals. The first one is the hedgehog, a quilled insectivore that is found naturally all over mainland Europe, the British Isles, Western and Eastern Asia, and northern, southern, and eastern Africa. They are also found in North America and New Zealand, but that's due to introduction by humans. Being insectivores, they feed on insects, spiders, and other small creatures, like snails, worms, and mice. The most striking feature are, of course, the quills. They are made of hair made with stiff keratin, that same stuff that human fingernails are made of. Young hedgehogs have quills that fall off over time and get replaced by grown quills. But after that, they stay on their back throughout their entire lives, unlike some other quilled animals we will be looking at later. When faced with a predator, their main way of defense is to curl up, tucking their face, legs, and belly into their bodies, turning their bodies into a tiny spiky ball. In the back, they also have 2 large muscles that can point the quills into any given direction. This means that any predator who tries to take a bite out of the hedgehog will end up with a mouth full of spikes. In terms of relatives, they belong to the Erinactinae family, alongside other insectivores like moles and shrews. Next up is the porcupine, another quilled mammal with a fairly large range. They are found pretty much all over North America and parts of South America, as well as sub-Saharan Africa and parts of Asia. In terms of quills, they definitely take the cake for the most impressive and deadly quills. Their quills are also made from keratin and can grow to become anything from 7 centimeters to almost a meter long. They are not only huge, but they are also made to detach upon touch, meaning that any predator who tries their luck with a porcupine can quickly end up regretting their actions. Some porcupines even have barbed spikes, making them even harder to pull out. In terms of diet, porcupines are herbivores, feeding upon anything from leaves, bark, flowers, and twigs, and berries, depending on where they live. When it comes to relatives, porcupines are rodents. Some of their closest relatives are the guinea pig, chinchilla, and capybara. A common misconception about the porcupine is that they actually have the ability to shoot quills. This is of course not true. However, you'd be forgiven to believe so when looking at how predators end up looking after trying their luck with a porcupine. Next on our list is a strange creature called the echidna, another animal covered in quills made of keratin. However, it has a much more restricted range. It's found in the woodlands of Australia and parts of New Guinea. Due to it being an Australian mammal, you might think you got this one figured out. But no, it's not a marsupial, though they do have a pouch. The echidna is one of the only 2 members of the Tachyglastidae family, making it one of only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world. That's right, the echidna is the closest living relative of the platypus. They share a lot of trait with the platypus, like they suckle their young by secreting milk out through mammary glands on their skin, essentially sweating milk. I suppose when you do not have any nipples, you have to make do with what you got. One other ability they share with their semi-aquatic relative is electrical reception. The snout of the echidna has anything from 400 to 2,000 electrical receptors. This helps them sense out potential prey like ants, termites, and larvae that could be hiding. Similar to how the platypus uses electrical receptors in their bill to find prey underwater. And lastly, we got a creature I only recently learned about, the tenrec, a small quiled mammal found on the island of Madagascar. And like most of the animals found on the island of Madagascar, they are not found anywhere else in the world. There are several subspecies of tenrec, and they are found in all kinds of habitats, from terrestrial, arboreal, and even aquatic. My personal favorite is the streaked tenrec, due to the fact that it simply looks like a real-life Pokemon. They are omnivores and feed upon anything from insects, larvae, birds' eggs, and fruit. They have, like the other animals on our list, quills made out of keratin. In face of a predator, they might sometimes try to scare them away by puffing up their back and quills and stomping their feet. This makes the quills make a rattling sound. However, if this doesn't work, they can always rely on the good old curling up. In contrast to the nippleless echidna, tenrecs have been blessed with over 29 nipples, and they can give birth to 32 babies at a time. The tenrec belongs to the order of animals called Afrophoria, animals that either live in or originate from the continent of Africa, meaning that the tenrec is closely related to aardvarks, manatees, hyraxes, and the elephant. That's right, this small animal, no bigger than your foot, is related to the biggest land animal in the world. There you have it, folks. 4 species of animal, none of them very closely related, but thanks to convergent evolution, armed with a similar kind of defense. They all simply found themselves in the situation where evolution favored spiky defense. We see this all throughout nature. Take a look at birds, bats, and flying insects. They are not related at all, but lightweight bodies able to become airborne was the best route to go. Also, we can take a look at sharks, dolphins, and the prehistoric Ophthalmosaurus. Even though they are not related at all, the dolphin is a mammal, the shark is a fish, the Ophthalmosaurus is a reptile. However, they live in the ocean, a habitat where having a stream body with fins was the best route to go. And thus, convergent evolution have given these completely different animals similar bodies. Now, some of you might see the fact that all of these animals have quills made out of keratin as some sort of clue that they could be related. However, keratin is not really that special. Like I said earlier, our fingernails are made out of keratin, so are the rhino's horn and the pangolins shell. That was all I had for today, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video, hope you learned something, and I'll see you later.